Hey everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Anita. I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, and I'm going to go through my sales with you for April. It was a great month. I can't wait to share everything with you. I'm going to share my screen like I did last month and show you all of the sales and why I think they sold in the time they did. I should tell you is just like I said last month, I've been really trying to hone in on as much time with checking comps as I possibly can because that has really boosted my sales a lot. I am outside right now because it is a gorgeous day. It is a gorgeous spring day in May, and I am all about spending as much time outside as possible. So if you hear anything in the background, that's it. Plus, I'm getting over a lovely cold right now, so I'm super congested. April of 2024 sales. Really, it was a battle between Poshmark and eBay for a really long time. I thought for sure Poshmark was going to win out, and it was eBay that came and won, and that was because of a couple of really incredible high sales that were very unexpected. And oh my gosh, when those came in, I was so excited. You know, any reseller that gets unexpected high price sales, those are always exciting. And then the little engine that could, Mercari, came in with a small sale. So Poshmark had $669 worth of sales, eBay $813.12, and that is not including shipping. Mercari is $35 in sales. And so the sales total was just a little over $1,500 with a Poshmark average sale price here of $33.45, which is really, really good for me. I'm usually somewhere in the 20s. And then an average sale price on eBay of $45.17, which to this point, since I've started selling on eBay, is pretty average for me as far as the average sale price for the month. The first sale of the month on Poshmark was this J. Jill linen open front cardigan. It was a beautiful lilac purple, and it was a legging look style. Anytime I see linen in the tag, if it's a cardigan as well, I always put legging look or login look. I think you say login look. I always say legging look. I think that's the Buffalonian in me. We do a lot of short A sounds around here. So anyways, this was a size medium. I think if it was a large, extra large, or into the plus sizes, it probably would have sold a lot faster. It took about a year to sell. It sold for $24, which for J. Jill, that's bread and butter prices that it would sell for. So that's a fine sales price. I think I paid $5.99 for it at a local Goodwill. So $24 for a bread and butter item. And last year I bought it right around springtime, so I thought for sure it would sell last year. It took a year to sell. So again, I think I would look into getting a bigger size for it. And I think with J. Jill, bigger sizes tend to do better. All right, the next sale, this only took 3 days to sell, and I was shocked by that because of the size. I had purchased these American Eagle overalls. They were a dark wash. They were a little bit distressed, and they were just a really cute style. Like honestly, I loved the back. I bought them for my daughter, and they just were not a good fit for her. I just decided that I would resell them. I bought them at Goodwill and they were like brand new condition for $6.99. So to sell in 3 days for $25, an offer from someone who liked it. So that was a great sale. And this was one of my best sales of the month on Poshmark. I got these at a Savers actually, and I had a 30% off coupon. So they were marked for $24.99, and I think I got them for around $18 to sell for $88. That's a really good turnaround. So Corral was a new brand name to me. Let me pull up the tag. So that's the inside, like the footbed area. They were really, really great boots. You could tell there was no wear on them whatsoever. They were new with tags, or excuse me, new without tags, new without box. You can see there was no wear. And you can see right here that that's the label if you needed to see it in case you see it out in the wild. These were called the Rosalie ankle boot. There was only one other pair of them in another size on eBay. None in this style for sale, but a few sold, which is why I purchased them. And they only took like a week or two to sell. So that was a really great sale for $88. This next one was a full price sale. Oh, did I mention I also live close to the airport? So if you hear a plane, there's a lot going on here today. Um, so, this was a full price sale. I was super excited to find this at a local Salvation Army a couple months ago, and this was the Sophia black yellow floral boho smocked wide leg flowy jumpsuit. And the funny thing is, I didn't even use the word jumpsuit in here and it still sold. I did use it down here. So thank God I did that. But why I didn't, there was another sale this month in May where I didn't even use the name brand. I just used the name of the dress and it still sold. So I don't know how I was so lucky for this one and that one to sell. This Free People jumpsuit, there were a lot sold and not a lot for sale. And when I got it at the Salvation Army, I honestly didn't look up comps. I just saw it was $4.99. I grabbed it. I got lucky. This could have been a jumpsuit that was oversaturated, and I just got really lucky. I absolutely loved it. It had adjustable straps, like it just had all of the things. In the March sales, I had a Madewell full price sale. And that full price sale, I stuck to my guns and I did the same thing with this one. There were a number of offers that went out for $72 because that was 20% off and nobody bit, but this was a full price sale. So super happy with that. And I would definitely get it again. This was an unexpected sale. So this was a faux leather belt. And then the belt buckle had like this really cool, like Native American Aztec tribal look. I had my uncle who's a rock expert look at this, and he did not think these were real turquoise right here. But they were like the red ones were some kind of coral, as it turns out. And this was another type of coral right here. I got it at a garage sale for $1 last June or July, I want to say June. So I was willing to pay $1 to do some research, hold on to it, see if it would sell. It was listed both on Poshmark and eBay, and this was what I asked for it. I wanted to make it competitive, so there were similar ones for sale for like 42, 43. So I priced it at 39. So that was a great full price sale. Bowden is one of my bread and butter brands. I absolutely love Bowden. I think it's a very good quality Anthropology brand, and this was such a beautiful blouse on this day at Salvation Army when I got it maybe about 6 months ago. There was this cart a new rack wheeled out, and this person must have gotten rid of their whole Bowden collection because I got like 4 or 5 Bowden dresses, a blouse, and a few other items that were Bowden. And it was such a stunning, not the best picture of the tag. I could have done better with that. But those were the sleeves. And this was not a full price sale. I had priced it at 30, but somebody came in with an offer for 22 and I was very happy to accept because I looked at current comps on Poshmark and eBay for Bowden blouses and this was right in line with the current comp, so I was happy to accept that. This was a $3 purchase, so 3 to 22 is great. All right, this next one is a pair of jeans I would never buy again. So I bought these about 6 months ago as well. They were current Elliott and they were an ankle skinny. And I really honestly thought this is when sometimes I think you get tag struck. At least I do when I go into a store. If I see a tag like current Elliott, obviously, for example, sometimes I go, oh, it's this brand, I'm going to grab it. And that is not a good strategy for me because history has told me that doesn't always work out real well for me. So I'm being much, much better with comps. So this pair of current Elliott ankle skinnies, I think I was honestly lucky to get 22 for them. But I spent $5.99 at a local Goodwill, like I said, about 6 months ago. And They were really cool. They were really cool jeans. I mean, honestly, they were a little worn, which is why I was fine with taking a lower offer as well. They did have signs of wear. These were fry cream. They were a stitched, pointed toe heeled country western cowgirl boot. They may have been vintage. I don't know for sure. I couldn't find any like this for sale on eBay or Poshmark at the time. I did mark them at 75, but they had been for sale. I think I had had them like 3 or 4 months. So when somebody came in with an offer for $50, I happily accepted. And then she sent me this really adorable message saying, I've been looking for these particular ones. I had them like 15 years ago and I haven't been able to find them until now. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. You know, they did have a little bit of wear. They had a few scratches. I don't have leather cleaner for this particular color, so I just left them alone and I was happy to accept this offer. I paid $14.99 for them at the same Salvation Army that I got that Bowden top at. So $14.99 to $50. I am very happy with that. These took about 4 months to sell. Okay. This was a shocking same day sale. I got this, excuse me, mid-April because we're talking about April sales. This J. Crew top was called the Mesdow Floral. And this was such a pretty, pretty print. And because florals are everywhere right now, I had gone into an anthropology recently and seen like florals are definitely in. And J. Crew is a great staple brand for a lot of people in their closets. It's a great bread and butter brand for me. So taking a $4 purchase and making it into 24 the same day, absolutely. Super happy with that sale. Next one was a full price sale. I happened to be away in New York City on a trip with my husband, and somebody came in and did this full price sale. And so that's the one thing I absolutely love about selling online is I can be away, I could be anywhere and get a sale, and then as long as I'm not home for any length of time, or if I'm not gone for any length of time, I can just mail it out when I return. So that's always nice. This was a Plato's Closet, excuse me, 90% off sale. So these were $2.20, if I remember correctly. This was intimately free, people, so the tag looks a little bit different. And these were a large, and they were like a linen blend. They had the coolest side side pleat to the bottoms of the legs. They had pockets. They just had all of the things, right? They were high-waisted. I did I put super high-waisted? I don't think I did, but these are super high-waisted. I think anything that has a rise that's more than 13.5 inches, I think that's considered super high rise. So this was close to 15 inches. That's really high. These were $2.20 into 50. Super happy with that sale. And these took, I think, about a month to sell. This I probably would avoid getting just because of the simplicity of the item along with the brand name. This was a purchase last May at a garage sale. This is almost like I think I have 2 or 3 items left from a humongous, massive garbage bag full of purchases that were $1 and $3 each at a local garage sale. This was a dollar item. And I got it because it was linen, and because anything linen, again, I do the log and look thing. This was boat neck as well. I thought that might be a good selling point. It took too long to sell to get $14. And this was an offer that I sent out to all. I was doing an end of the week, I think 30 or 40% off offer. So $14 is fine, $1 into $14, but to wait a year, not so much. So this was sent out the same day, this offer, as the last one for the Banana Republic linen sweater. So these were a pair of Tommy Bahama light blue leather mules. I put coastal, beachy, preppy, comfy, anything that I could think of. I just think that Tommy Bahama is not a brand that shoes sell all that well. And so these sat for a long time. I've had them for almost, I think, 9 months or so. I would not get them again. I spent $6.99 at a local Goodwill, and they're really nice shoes, like, honestly, super, super nice, and they really had very little wear on them, really great quality, and I was super happy to purchase them at the time, but I did not check comps. This was before I was being really, really diligent about checking comps, and so I think they were priced at, like, 33 or 36, something like that. I got 17 for them, so I still made a small profit, but nothing huge, so I would not get them again. The next one was mine, and this is a bread and butter brand for me, J. Crew. I didn't have a specific style name or anything for it. Um, so I just put sage green, long sleeve, preppy casual crew neck sweater, and it was a medium. Really nice sweater, just a very basic sweater. I had sent out an offer the same day as the last 2 items, and so that was pure profit. That was great. This was another offer that was sent out the same day. This was something I really wish I had not purchased, and so I was just trying to move it on to a new home. This was a sheer, um, paisley boho long sleeve lightweight popover blouse from Susan Graver. I was super happy 2 weeks after purchase that this sold. This was an Adriana Papel dress. It was new with tags. I saw it and thought about wedding guest dress right away, brunch, all of the things. And so this was the actual dress. It was so, so pretty. It was a size 6, so I honestly wasn't sure how fast it was gonna sell, but it was only $6.99 at a local Salvation Army. They got a ton of Adriana Papel dresses. I think probably there was some local shop that must have closed because this location and another location just got a ton of dresses that could be used for casual things all the way up to formal, like, beaded dresses, really pretty stuff. This was one of the ones that was reasonably priced, and it had an original price of 159. And so I showed as much as I could of the dress. I think it's important for the buyer to see as many pictures as possible. Super happy with that sale, $6.99 into $40 in 2 weeks. Absolutely. This next one was a beach cover up, and it was gorgeous, stunning. Um the brand name is Boston Proper. I got it for $9.99 about 6 months ago at a local Goodwill, and I knew it would take a while to sell because I bought it during the winter, and the original price was 129. It had come out on a new cart or rack rather. So I do think if I had gone the following day, it probably would have been gone already. And that particular Goodwill has a lot of high traffic, so I'm pretty sure that this would have been gone. I wanted 50 for it, but it had a few flaws. I think I showed it in the pictures and put it in the description. What did I say in it? That there was a snag in the fabric at the bottom. So I think I showed it in this picture. It's like right here. It was very minimal. So getting 40 for it, that was great with having the flaw. Next one was a Juicy Couture orange strapless terry cloth shorts romper, and it was a vacation style romper, which is why I put this here. I was thinking about the beach and vacations coming up. $22 for a strapless romper for Juicy Couture, in my opinion, was pretty good. I don't typically get like the shorts rompers. I like the sleeveless terry dresses do very well for me, and their quirky purses do very well for me. Although I have not sold one of those in a while, so I don't know how it would do. You know, things change over time. So this particular one was $6 at a local AmVets. It was the day that my stepdaughter and I went shopping. So she got a ton of personal stuff. I got a ton of stuff to resell. This one was one that I would not purchase again, but I'm glad that I still made a decent profit and moved it on. I purchased it at a local Salvation Army for $3 about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a Gap black silk ruffle strapless party dress. I loved the ruffles, and actually, as soon as I felt the fabric, I was like, "It's a silk one," and I put down wedding guest, homecoming, I may have put down prom. No, I didn't, but I could have. I mean, oh, yeah, I did, and, like, some keywords here. So, for this one, it may have been an older dress too. I don't even know, to be very honest with you, but it was so cute. I could not get it to stay on the mannequin no matter how hard I tried. So I think that's part of the reason I wouldn't get it again, because this was a picture that I took. I placed it on a table and stood on a chair and took the picture. And I don't always think pictures like that turn out super great. Plus, Gap is one of those brands that really does not resell super well overall unless you have like a vintage sweater or something like that. So sometimes the jeans can sell great, but other than that, this was an offer that came in from a liker. I feel really bad about this one because it got lost in the mail. So one of the reasons that Poshmark charges 20%, I don't love that they charge 20% fees. I think that's a lot. However, it covers things like this. The buyer and I both got reimbursed for this. I got my earnings and the buyer got their money back for it. They did not have to pay for this. So it got lost in the mail somewhere and it was never found, but it was still a sale for me, which is why I included it. This next one was a surprise. I don't do super great with Vince Camuto sandals. I would never buy the sandals again. I do great with the boots, not so much with the sandals. So this was called the Eston perforated um sandal with a cone heel, all the keywords, right? So it was really cute. I think it may have been a little oversaturated with the style. They were brand new, which is why I got them. I got them for $5.99 at a local Goodwill. I got them last summer, so they've been sitting for about 9 months or so. I would not get them again, and I think the other reason they sat was because it's a wide. Those sit a lot longer. And so 5.99 into 27 is fine. If it's a short sale, if it takes long, it's not super amazing. And I was happy to move these on. I think I was lucky to get 19 for these. These were a dollar garage sale find last May. And so I may have gotten them at the same garage sale as that boat neck Banana Republic sweater. This is a pair of Vans low pro skate shoes. They were like tennis sneakers. They were lace up, super casual, of course, and they really had very little wear. And so I just had to like pluck out a little bit of dirt from the bottom, but other than that, they were a narrow fit. So even though they were a 7 and I wear a 7 cuz I think I had bought them for myself, but they were a narrow fit, so they didn't fit me, and I had brought them to Plato's. Plato's didn't want them. I brought them to another local consignment shop. They did not want them, and so I ended up selling them for 19. That was great. Pure profit then, since I was gonna keep them for myself. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway, since they were only a dollar. Okay, this was a surprise sale, and I did send an offer out through my Posher VA for $12. I had marked this at 18. So last year I was doing some random like style pickups, and when the whole coastal cowgirl thing came out and denim skirts that were midi length were really in, I had purchased this, spent way too much on it for the brand name. Wasn't checking comps. So I would not get Bacchini again. So moving on to some amazing eBay sales. So hopefully you're still with me because the eBay sales are pretty incredible. I'm so happy with them this month. So the first sale is this Kobe Halperin silk boho ruffle mosaic peasant blouse, and the buyer got it for $40 plus shipping. And this was a random, I was walking out of the store find, and I got it for $2.98 at a local Salvation Army. So pretty. I know if I had held on to it longer, I probably could have gotten closer to my asking price of 90 based on comps, but this was a buyer that had wanted it and then she wasn't able to. I don't remember if there was an issue with payment. I couldn't tell you, but she came back and put in an offer again. So the fact that she came back, I was like, no, she really wants this piece. That's fine. She can have it for $42.98, and $40 is pretty darn good in less than a month. And then Ellie Tahari is one of my bread and butter brands. I absolutely love Ellie Tahari, especially their blazers do very well for me. And so this was a new with tags one that I got at a local Salvation Army for $7.99. Was originally 98, and camel colored blazers overall for me do so well. So brands like J. Crew as well, camel colored blazers. This was not any special fabric where the J. Crew blazers tend to be at least partial wool. And so this was an 8. It was such a stunning blazer, like super classy. I always take pictures of the insides of the blazer. I think that's really important. And I show the measurements. But this was an offer that came from a liker for $55. This is what I had put it at. I got 55 and $7.98 into 55 in less than a month is really great. I had listed this in, and I apologize because the last one I said was less than a month. It was 2 months. And it was about 2 months for this as well. I listed this winter silk. It was about a month and a half to 2 months. This comps was incredible. This whole thing is a little story in and of itself. This is a brand I had no idea about. I had no idea the comps were 100% or more um sell-through rate for this particular brand. And I was waiting. I'm like, oh my gosh, if it has 100% sell-through rate for this size, why is it taking so long? But then somebody came in almost, a month and a half, 2 months later. I asked for 35. They gave me 35. I priced it competitively because most of the ones that were for sale were like a longer one that was like close to tunic, and this was like a little bit tapered. And here's the tag so you can see it. These are pure silk undergarments for wearing outdoor during the winter. I had no idea. Cuddle Duds is the one that I know, and they don't resell super well. So this was on a rack at a Salvation Army. I got it for $2. And with this particular item, I was moving things on the rack and it fell on the floor. And because it's white, I was like, oh gosh, I don't want it to get all dusty. Let me pick it up. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to practice checking comps. And I was so glad I did because $2 into 35 in 2 months is super great. So I would definitely get one again. Right, this was a fun sale. This was just fun, and it sold. It only took like 3 weeks or like not even a month for it to resell. This was a vintage piece, and it takes a long time for vintage pieces to resell for me. So when this sold right away, I was really surprised. So I did check comps for this, and comps for this brand were pretty incredible, anywhere from 75 up to $250. And yes, that is a wide range, but if I could get $75 from $6.99, I will absolutely take that. Here's the tag. You can see that, I mean, like, really? It's hand stitched. Hey, how cool is that? I just am such a nerd when it comes to stuff like this. And as soon as I saw this on a new rack, I grabbed it. There was a woman looking in the middle, and I didn't want to be rude to her. So I kind of went in and went over to the side, and I was just like, oh, this looks super cool. Let me nonchalantly grab it because I didn't want to get in her space. And just so glad I did. This reminded me, okay, so I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and when I was growing up in the 80s, they had still episodes of Three's Company going on TV. They could have been repeats, I don't know. But man, I was thinking of Mrs. Roper with this one, and maybe some of you can relate to that. She had all the coolest caftan dresses, and she wore them with some sass, and it was just so cool. So this was sheer. And, I did want to include this because it did say one size and it's nylon and all of that. So, super happy with the sale. The person came in and offered $100. And I would have been, in my mind, I would have been a fool to not accept that. So super happy with a $100 sale. The next one was this pair of Sam Edelman Karen black suede slip-on round toe espadrille flats. And they were a size 6.5, which is a pretty decent size. They took a really long time to sell, about 9 months. And if I was to get them again, I would either get them in a larger size, a fun print, a bright color, something like that. But plain black, I think that's why it took so long. But the person came in and offered 30 and I accepted. They were $6.99 at a local Goodwill. All right, one of my bread and butter brands. I love Eileen Fisher. It is a very high quality brand name. I would 100% get this again. This was a same day sale. So 100% silk. It was this beautiful burnt orange high-low blouse. It was 100% silk. It had no signs of wear. So for me in my business, I choose to make sure that they either look brand new or, close to brand new with no marks. I also am very careful to take pictures of the underarms because I want the person to see that there's no perspiration marks, no deodorant marks, anything like that. The person came in, offered $45, and this was a $3.99 purchase at local Salvation Army. So $3.99 into 45 the same day that I listed. Super amazing. This is also a bread and butter brand for me, Talbot's. This is a white cotton boho cottage core coastal grandma pull-on midi skirt. And it was a medium petite, which is why I think that it took a little while to sell. And I know it says that I listed it on April 1st, but I had it listed for a few weeks already on Poshmark and it hadn't moved. And really nice Talbot's items like this tend to move fairly quickly for me. And I wanted to make sure I showed close-ups of it with the pockets and the tassel tie and all of that. $4.99 purchase at a local Goodwill. Got $23.20 for it, which is still really, really good for a Talbot's item that is not new with tags. So Nanette Lepore, I got an offer within a few weeks of listing this for $25 and I took it. And the reason I took it is because I was like, you know what? I want things to keep moving on the eBay algorithm for my eBay store. And so I accepted the $25 offer. Also, Nanette Lepore is one of those brands that I don't feel like it moves super quick. And I think it may have moved because I used keywords not up here, but in the description, like brunch, wedding guest, things like that. And so there may have been somebody who was going to need it for that reason, but it was such a cute dress. It really was. I think if it had been a more formal style, I maybe could have gotten a lot more for it, or at least a little bit more. It was $6.99 at a local Salvation Army. Next one is one of my bread and butter brands for shoes. Not always clothing, but shoes. But these sold very well. I had hung on to them for the longest time. I want to say like 6 months. They were sitting in like a death pile. And I don't keep a death pile very long because I have a small business, but they were in my death pile for quite a while. I put a short out on YouTube saying, I don't know what these are. I can't even find them with Google Lens, whatever. And somebody said, I think they might be Lucky Brand with 4-leaf clover there. And I was like, oh my gosh, Anita, duh. But I thanked her and these were really, really great. Like, I felt like they were such great, some brands like Fry and some other brands like that, maybe even Harley Davidson put out these like heavy leather, like moto style boots. And I know these are like more knee-high riding boots. However, they did have with the style zipper, the chunky zipper, they had more of like a motorcycle style. So I was, sure to put that into like the description. Overall, really good sale. Another bread and butter brand, J. Crew. This was such a nice sweater. And honestly, if it was my size, like a medium, I probably would have kept it for myself. I put extra soft in there because it really was. It was a striped crew neck preppy sweater. It was like slouchy. You can see if you're not sure when to use slouchy, when I use the word slouchy, I tend to look and see where the sleeve seam starts. And if it doesn't start right at the shoulder or right after the shoulder, if it goes down to like maybe like the chest area or even below that, that's when I use the word slouchy. And that seems to be a good keyword right now. I've been using it for the last 6 months or so. This was a $20 offer that came from a watcher, and I was happy to accept it because honestly, we're moving into spring and summer, and so trying to get rid of some sweaters that I've had for a while. I listed this on October 8th. I had purchased it, probably within a week previous to that time. And so I was happy to get the $20 for it and move it on. And I think I spent $4 at a local Salvation Army. These sold within a week of reselling, and I got 65 for these. I purchased them at a local Goodwill for $9.99. And I think for a pair of Allen Edmonds, that's a really great price. Honestly, Allen Edmonds, this was the first pair I ever found, and I had been looking in the men's shoes for months, ever since I saw a video where how great like men's shoe brands were and certain brands, and Allen Edmonds was one of them. And so when I purchased these, I just grabbed them real quick. I just thought that this particular color with the burgundy was not super common. And, I was able to look up the ID number, that number next to the D, the 99555. I was able to find the name of the style. So they were the cap toe Oxford dress shoe in burgundy. So I put that exact name there. People are looking for, I think with Allen Edmonds, they're looking for the exact style name. So these were scuffed a little bit. Thanks, honey. These were scuffed a little bit, and I was sure to use Canva to show that, where the scuffing was. And the person messaged me and said that they were happy that I, showed all the scuffing, but did I think that it would come out with any kind of polish, and I honestly wasn't sure. So I said I think it's possible, but I'm not sure. And the reality was, like, I was not willing myself to take the time with working full time to try and get out all of the scuffs and then potentially ruin them. I didn't want to ruin them. But taking $65 offer, $9.99 into 65 in a couple weeks was super amazing. I was really happy with that sale. And that person gave me a good rating, so I was very grateful. Okay, this next one was another quick flip, and it was within a couple weeks as well. I was very surprised by this quick flip because I'm still playing around with the Sundance brand as a whole, and it seems to be a really great in-demand brand, but for certain things more than others. This was an oversaturated brand, or particular dress on Poshmark. It was not on eBay, so that's why I was good with getting it, but it was a size small, and it wasn't any special fabric, but I absolutely loved the dress. It was a great price at $6.99. And so the person sent an offer, a watcher sent an offer for $30, and I was happy to accept. The next one, I was happy to move this on. Sanctuary, of all of the Anthropologie brands, is probably my biggest bread and butter brand. It's not a high selling brand. Usually it sells within the low 20s, but when I can get it for super cheap, like $1 or $2, I'm happy to pick it up. This did take a while to sell. This was a last year. I bought this at a Plato's 90% off sale for a little over $1. And the person offered me $20, and I was happy to accept. It was a large. This was, I think, 100% linen. Let me look. No, it wasn't. It was cotton and linen blend. So, which is fine. And this was an Anthropologie brand that I will absolutely 100% pick up again, even if it's $6, $7, $8, 100%. This is a vintage brand, and I don't even think that it's made anymore. Like, I think it probably stopped in the 80s or 90s, something like that. And this is definitely one I will be keeping my eye out for again. It's called Butterfly Dropout. This is what the tag looks like. And that's what attracted me to it. I was on my way home from work, stopped at a local Salvation Army. I was just having a really rough day at work, and I was like, okay, thrifting always makes me feel better. And I saw this, and I originally was going to have my daughter just have it because she loves anything orange. And then I don't know if I should feel guilty about this one or not, as far as like the original intent was to give it to my daughter. And then I decided, no, I'm going to sell it instead. Should I feel guilty about that for $50 sale? I don't think so. But, anyways, um, this was easy to put Y2K with, a little bit of grunge because of the distressing. I absolutely thought this was such a cool hippie top. It did have some pilling and it still sold for my asking price of 50, man. Oh my gosh. I would definitely look for that, especially, I don't think this is one that they would ever mark up at the thrift store. I got it for $1. Okay, this was a quick sale. I believe it was a same day sale. This is not a particular name brand. There's a person on Etsy who makes these and sells these. This particular mud cloth jacket. And I thought it was really important for me to put the front and the back on the thumbnail picture. And I do use Canva, so I did put the word reversible there as well. I think that's important for somebody to know. You're not selling a lot or a bundle of two jackets, you're selling one and it's reversible because you want to be as transparent with the buyer as possible. I got it at a local Salvation Army the same day I got that J. Crew blouse. I got this. This was $5.99, and to turn that real quick into $30. And this sold when I was away at New York City as well. Okay, this is an item that was super, super cute, but I probably would not buy again. And this is and it sold super fast, but I didn't have my heart in this piece. Let's just say that. This is the brand Endless Rose. This particular item, it's sold on Revolve, and this particular brand is sometimes sold on Revolve. It was a new with tag sweater, and it was so pretty. It really was a beautiful sweater. I could not get it to stay on the mannequin to save my life because it's an off the shoulder sweater. And it just is a really pretty sweater, but I wouldn't buy it again because I was only able to I was in there real quick, didn't check comps on it. That was my mistake. I would have left it otherwise. It was $6.99. It turned into the person sent me an offer for $20.80, and I accepted based on current comps on eBay. I would not get that again. I still made it a small profit, but nothing huge. I just think that brand name doesn't necessarily resell for a super high amount. Some Revolve brands do, some don't. So you have to kind of do your homework on eBay. And I've made some learning curve mistakes. It is what it is. Okay, this was a blogger favorite. I was so happy that I picked this up. So I didn't get it because it was a blogger favorite because I didn't know it at the time, but this was called the Crew dress in Ecru and black. It was a mini dress. The reason I got it was because it was an extra large. Mini dress is overall, if you look on Poshmark and eBay, mini dresses in Zara do not resell super amazingly. The offer came in from a watcher for $33.60, and I was happy to accept that. And I do think that it sold fast because it's a blogger favorite. I did include that just so people could see that it was very drape-like on. I mean, it's a really nice, relaxed fit. It was a pretty dress. It had like a tapestry-ish type artsy print. It was just really pretty. And so I think I would get it again. I spent $6.99. I certainly wouldn't spend any more than that. But also with Zara, the blogger favorites sell faster and do better than things that are not blogger favorites. So it's kind of fun to do your homework and see, once you find out the name of the dress. I did Google Lens, and then I just typed in Zara, and I put blogger favorite in the search engine as well to see if it would pull up any pictures, and it did pull up some blogger pictures. I didn't include those, but I did include blogger favorite. So a very quick resell, like this was April 7th, and it was towards the end of April that this sold. So 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever that is. And this was a great full price sale. So this was a Catherine Malandrino. This was a new with tags, organic cotton, pink boho long sleeve pullover. I could have probably said pop over top. That's the tag in case you need to see it. I do think that it probably would have sold for more if it was an extra large or bigger plus size. But $35 is pretty great. I think based on the comps, it was right in line with the comps. And this is a brand that original prices are super steep, like $158. And I think it's because they are organic cotton, and this is like a gauzy, really lightweight. And I got it for $4 at a local Salvation Army. It was a half off ticket. Another Talbot's item. Again, it's one of my bread and butter brands. They had a dollar sale at Salvation Army about 6 months ago. My local Salvation Army had a bunch of their jeans that were marked down to $1, and I got this and a few other pairs. And I knew it might sit for a while. And I was able to get, it was a full price sale for $32 plus shipping. This was my biggest sale for the month, an international sale. This went, and I've had 3 within the last 3 weeks that are international sales. So this one in April, 2 in May, and I'm so glad that I've done international sales too, because eBay handles all of it. It goes to, I think, does it go to Kentucky or Illinois? I've had a bunch go to Illinois. So maybe they have like a warehouse in Illinois, or for this particular one, it may have gone there to check the authenticity before shipping it off. My daughter found these over a year ago in a local Goodwill for $6.99. She was attracted to the butterflies. And if you're not familiar with Sophia Webster, they have a line of shoes, regular pumps, slingbacks, a number of other ones that have the butterflies on the back. And I did accept a lower offer for these because the butterflies were a little flatter along the back than typically. They're pretty close together the way that they're formed and put on the shoe. And so this is what the bottom looks like. And they were in a European size, so I had to look at a size chart for them. They were an 8.5. They are really great quality shoes, and to take $6.99, and this was a $175 offer that came in. I accepted the offer like immediately as soon as I saw it. I was at work on my lunch break, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take $175. Absolutely. That's amazing." I had priced them at $2 or $250. $175 over a year later. Absolutely will take it. No problem. And I'm sorry, I don't have the Mercari sale up here. That's my fault for I completely forgot to put it up here. But just a heads up, it was a full price Levi's pair of men's jeans. They may have been the 505s or the 550s. I don't remember. But I had them for a really long time. And then this was a surprise sale that somebody came in and purchased it. And so I was happy to get that little bitty, which that went right back into my business to get more items to resell. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to tune into this video. I hope it was helpful. My point of doing these is to be helpful to somebody, because I've had so many YouTubers who were helpful for me when I was first starting my business. I hope this is helpful for you in some kind of way. I hope to see you in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.